Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with another Australian Eloquence fabulous box. Well, the box is fabulous. The stuff in it, we'll get there. Colin Davis and the Boston Legacy. This consists of 13 CDs. I remember these vividly when they first came out, hearing them way back when, in the early 1980s. I think the last of these recordings was made around 1982, 83. Oh, yes, those were the days. They really were, because I was, let me see, 82, 80, yeah, I was running classical music director at WJHU in Baltimore. And, you know, these were new releases, and we listened to all of them. And anyway, so there you go. First, what have we got? Oh, yes, well, some of the stuff is very well known. All of the Sibelius stuff. It's the first 7 of the 13 discs. And it's all terrific. You know, Davis's recordings of the first and second symphonies were a little less volatile than some might like. They're kind of broad, but beautifully played and wonderfully shaped. And they're just terrific. And after that, the cycle goes from strength to strength. The fifth is absolutely fabulous. The fourth is too. He uses glockenspiel and chimes, doubling each other in the finale of the fourth. And in the fifth, you got to hear the way Vic Firth plays the timpani at the end of the first movement. There is nothing like it. You actually hear what Sibelius wrote, which is double rolls on 2 drums, followed by repeated eighth notes, and it's all at presto tempo. It's it's unbelievable. I remember being in Paris with my friend, my good friend, the critic, he was now in Montreal, at Le Devoir, Christophe Huss, and we were in his apartment, and I said to him, "You gotta hear Vic Firth. You can actually hear what Sibelius wrote for the first time," because we were talking about Sibelius recordings, and we put that one on, and we went, "Oh, yes." Anyway, all of the performances are very good in the Sibelius. The disc of tone poems is phenomenal. You get On Saga, a really fabulous Karelia suite with that first movement intermezzo that's not too fast. Has a real nice rhythm to it at that moderate tempo. A great Pohjola's Daughter. They're really all the tone poems and Tapiolas in there with the symphonies. It's all terrific. Then you get the Violin Concerto with Salvatore Accardo, who's excellent, along with the 6 humoresques, which almost never get played, and which together make up a pretty substantial chunk of music, 20 some odd minutes. So that's really good. Then we've got Schubert's Unfinished and the Rosamunde incidental music excerpts. Those are also very nice performances. I mean, the Boston Symphony really did the Unfinished Symphony really, really, really well. I mean, they started with Munch, then they did a dazzling performance of it with Joachim, and this is really very good too. Schubert's Great Symphony, which is on the next disc, on the other hand, is a disaster. I mean, it's one of those take all the repeats and it dies. It just dies. Unfortunately, it's 61 minutes long. It's, you want to kill yourself. It's really, really, really dull. You know, Davis could be. He blew hot and cold. He really did. He was a passionate guy. When he was on, he was dynamite. When he was off, he was a snooze fest. And that Schubert Ninth is one of the snooze fests. Then comes an excellent Mendelssohn disc, the Italian Symphony and Midsummer Night's Dream, the usual excerpts, the Overture, and the usual extra hoogies, the Wedding March, the Scherzo, that kind of stuff. But wonderful. And the opening of the Italian Symphony, everything is a little bit slower than normally, but only so it can be articulated. It's fabulous. Listen to the opening of the Italian. With the winds the winds puffing along with tiny little space between the notes and the theme on top of the violins. It's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. It just goes to show, you see. He's blowing hot and cold. Well, the Mendelssohn is hot, no question about it, even if it's not the fastest, most rhythmically insane in the world. Davis doesn't conduct it like an Italian person. Who cares? Mendelssohn wasn't an Italian person, so why not? Then we've got, the Tchaikovsky disc. The 1812 Overture and Romeo and Juliet. They were originally separate. Here they couple the Claudio Arrau Tchaikovsky First Piano Concerto, which is something else entirely. But the 1812 has the chorus parts, which it never should have. I mean, they're just horrible. And it's awful. It was always, the Romeo and Juliet's even worse. Again, this is one of these, it's just a total snooze fest. The 1812 is one of those performances where the bigger and louder it gets, the duller it becomes, which is like just the most horrible combination you can imagine. The cannons are all off. There's a cannon shot, like at the end, it somehow got stuck in there, and the bells don't come through, and the performance itself is just has no edge to it. And the Boston Symphony could do the 1812 Overture like nobody's business. I mean, they do it at Tanglewood every year on the 4th of July. So, what is going down there? So there's that. And then we've got the Piano Concerto with Arrau, which is a beautiful performance. There's a little bit of, he does the rhythm thing in the finale with the theme, dun bum ba dun bum dun 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 bum ba dun dun at the beginning, which may annoy some people because it seems to be a little stop and go, but then he kind of gives it up later on. And, he's a very tasteful pianist, he's not going to be agogic just for the sake of it, actually. It perks up your ears initially, and then he lets fly, so that's great. It's a good performance. It's like everything around it. It's late around 1980. It's a serious performance. One with big sonority, big lines, and a measured approach to the whole work. But I don't think that the finale is too slow. I really don't. And Davis is a very good accompanist. It's not my favorite. I like a performance with just more fire and abandon. But, for what it is, it's quite good. And the Schumann and Grieg coupling at the end, well, this was about 15 or 16 years after his previous Schumann and Grieg coupling, which was with the Concertgebouw under the young Christoph von Dohnanyi, which was very good. And this is very good. The performances are almost identical. He always treated these works very seriously. The Schumann can take it. I mean, it really can. It's lovely. The Grieg, when you've heard like the Norwegian tunes where they really hit the folk rhythms and the dance stuff, and they play it for freshness. It can sound a bit fusty, I have to confess. But taken on its own terms, he makes a grand statement, especially in the finale. His handling of the big tune at the end is glorious. I mean, it really, really is. The slow movement is full of poetry. I enjoy this performance. And again, it's not like anybody else. You know what I mean? It has personality, it has character, it has conviction. You just may not find it entirely to your taste, but it's a very good performance. And Davis is a terrific accompanist in these works. I mean, he did him also with Maria Pariah, his sister. No, Murray Pariah. But that was with Bavarian Radio. Still, he's done these things a zillion times. So you're dealing with top-notch people doing really good things there. So really, the bottom line is this set is wonderful, except for the dreadful Schubert Ninth and the dreadful Tchaikovsky 1812 and Romeo and Juliet. Oh, I'm sorry, there's one more disc here. Debussy, I almost forgot. La Mer and the Nocturnes. Now, the Boston Symphony, of course, can play this music in its sleep. It's the greatest French orchestra in the universe. These performances are somewhat cool. I like the Nocturnes better than La Mer, because the Nocturnes is more sort of atmosphere and you can swim around in them, actually swim around better than in the ocean. But, you can take them at dreamier tempos, maybe. I mean, the playing's very good. La Mer, I think, just lacks a little bit of color and a little bit of excitement. Possibly that's due to the early digital recording, which was kind of denatured. It always sounded a little denatured. The orchestra sort of drained of impact, and that hasn't changed. It really hasn't. It's not terrible, but it's I mean, there's better Debussy out there. Who are we kidding? So there you go. Where were we? Oh, yes. Okay. So it's all terrific except for the Schubert Ninth, the Tchaikovsky 1812, and Romeo and Juliet, and possibly the Debussy, which is fair to middling, let's just say. And that's basically where we are. So if you don't have the Sibelius stuff, the first 7 discs, you should get this because it's marvelous. It was all released in a wonderful little box, a slim box on Philips/Decca, which I have sitting right over there. But here it is again, if you missed it that time. And some of the other things, the Schubert 8 and the Mendelssohn disc, Mendelssohn's wonderful, and the Arrau stuff, why not? So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.